Hello, welcome back. I'm Dusty Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Dark Side. How are you all in this wonderful community? I'm going to get a disclaimer out of the way because it's me, and can I be trusted? No. Do you want to trust me do you want to trust it that I can behave? I'm sorry, but we cannot. We are full of so much adult content that some of you may think this isn't necessary, and some of you may think this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out. But I'll say this only once. If you can't stand the hate, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started, and are we ready? What are we covering today? Let's grab ourselves a drink and a snack and let's get comfy. Let's hear about the topic that I'm going to be covering, and it is Peter's Neverland Nightmare. I have watched the trailer. It is creepy to say the least, but we're going to get into it because there's a few movies coming out in the Poohniverse. Yeah, that's what they're calling the Winnie the Pooh universe, with the parodies, basically. Childhood favourites with their ulterior motives, ulterior lessons to be learned, etc. Not all fluffy Disney-like, although Disney does have its moments where things are more depressing than fluffy. But these movies are taking them to where they most likely, the origins of these folkloric events teach children and adults and alike, basically, the actions have consequences and things aren't as they seem. Let's read this article from CBR. As I said, I have watched the trailer. It is a bit creepy and I am looking forward to it. Are you? Let me know in the comments below. The creators of the horror film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey are back to terrorise a new public domain classic with a new trailer released for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Peter Pan is the newest childhood classic on the chopping block for Jagged Edge Productions, the production company behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. The company has been extending their horror franchise of public domain tales turned into horror films. Dubbed the Poohniverse, spelled Poohniverse, Poohniverse. Now, Poon means vagina, people. It is a slang term for vagina, so the Vaginaverse. There we go. Some nice artwork as well. While the team could draw from any public domain story, they seem to be focused on the tales that have been popularised by Disney adaptations, Though those adaptations are notably not in the public domain, they will not be taking on Disney directly, though. As the director of the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey said that they wouldn't be adapting Steamboat Willie despite the iconic mouse now being in the public domain. The boy who never grows up is getting his own terrifying twist with Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Steamboat Willie is being remade, but not by this company who seem to be hitting it out the park. It's going to be Rob Zombie. Yeah, hopefully it comes back into public domain or they can make something similar, like an alternative reality Steamboat Willie or something. A new trailer for the film was released exclusively on Bloody Disgusting. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare will follow Wendy Darling as she attempts to rescue her brother Michael from the clutches of the evil Peter Pan. Now, the way they've got his mask and stuff, he kind of looks like the character from Longlegs that Nicolas Cage plays, and it's weird looking. The clutches of the evil Peter Pan and his twisted carnival Neverland. Along the way, she'll meet Tinkerbell, who takes heroin. She thinks it's pixie dust. Of course she does. I bet he'll get called that now. The film will be directed by Scott Jeffrey, a producer on the previous films in the Poohniverse. How will Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare compare to the rest of the Poohniverse? Well, Jeffrey told Bloody Disgusting, this is tonally an extremely darker film to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because it does have its moments of humour, that film. I'm not sure if it's just me or people who are alike, who love horror, who found it a wee bit funny. I think all these parodies, well, as they call them, parodies, are supposed to be taken in tongue-in-cheek. All the films from the Poohniverse will feel different from the last, so they're keeping to the same kind of darker tones, but it'll be a different form of darker horror, or the story will not be as bloody or gory or whatever. I think they're trying to make each movie be part of a universe but also be able to stand out on its own, which is nice. So if there isn't one, this one isn't for you, then maybe the next one will be. Peter Pan is the most vicious of them all. He's twisted, cruel and cunning. The film's trailer is definitely drawing more from the other horror films than the original story. Far from being set in the mystical fairy tale world, Neverland here is a spooky carnival, and rather than flying there, kids are taken by a truck that reads "Let's Go to Neverland" on the back. Indeed, what the film does draw from its source material seems to be mostly by the iconic elements that Disney film popularised: pixie dust flying and the concept of never growing up. There aren't likely to be any deep cut references for diehard fans of the original J.M. Barrie story, released all the way back in 1902. When you think of the concept of Neverland and Peter Pan is a boy who never grows up, yet he is much older and he is a boy stuck in a man's body, or a man stuck in a boy's body, technically, because he never grows up. Or the children see what they want to see, because you never know if the kids are being drugged. They get abducted and taken to somewhere where there's all these other children who have went through the same thing, and then these children are, again, they seem to be high. They're eating fresh air and pretending that it's real food. Yes, kids have got a great imagination, but quantity fuck. That film, when you watch Hook, it is weird. And then they decide to stay, so they get their aging speeds up and all that carry on because of the few who were already there. It is weird ass story about child abduction, child neglect, and child abuse. So the story technically has dark elements, very dark elements, and they've decided to do it as a carnival rather than take them away. But technically, they are being taken away and abducted, and they will be forever young or forever children. Whether that means that they're killed, who knows? And that's why they stay a child forever. There's still some dark concepts from the original story, Hook and Peter Pan, and all the story to do with Peter Pan and Hook. And then this movie now as well. There's a lot of kind of crossover, hopefully there will be, between the original story and the different adaptations over the years to make it more darker, because the way parents look at stories from their childhood, they realise how dark they actually fucking were. And maybe this will tie in with that, I'm hoping. So let's see. If audiences are looking for an innovative new take on a classic story that recontextualises the themes of the original through a contemporary lens, they aren't likely to find it here. But anyone who has watched the previous Poohniverse films could tell you that. Instead, folks could take this film for what it is, a gory, spooky film with references to a childhood classic to add to the creep factor. If people go in with their expectations set properly, they're bound to have a good time with Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. What do you think about that article? The artwork, though, looks very, very creepy. From what I'm looking at now, it looks very Phantom of the Opera, the way they've got his mask, and he gives me kind of Rumpelstiltskin feels from Once Upon a Time, which is played by the amazing Scottish actor Robert Carlyle. It's giving me a lot of these vibes. The kids and stuff kind of reminds me of one of the covers for Stranger Things. I don't watch Stranger Things, but the posters are fucking everywhere. You can't get away with it. It's highly animated, and you see a lot of different images of like carnival with a bunting and like the kids all round them, and what looks like balloons, like a red balloon as well, which again, red balloon not just for carnival, for blood, for death, and again, who else has a red balloon but Pennywise the clown, clowns, etc. There's another, the actual full poster is like the old kind of boardwalk type carnival you would see. I think obviously it's in America, we don't really have them here. And it has like the old lights going around the border and different images, characters from the story depicting different scenes, and some of them are like black, are kind of opaque, transparent, basically, so you can just see the kind of image and no more. Then there's creepy Peter Pan with his one of the children in his grasp. We have the van at the bottom left, and it's the Welcome to Neverland, which is basically, it looks like we would call an R-mobile. It is, or we usually see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, referring to the child catcher, because he had a dodgy vehicle even way back then. And then there's like a trap door with Peter without his mask on, because he wears a mask, and he's kind of got like jester like makeup on, kind of washed off, looking creepy. There is a kid with a balloon similar to it in the background, and then you also see like the circus tent in the background. So the artwork is really expressing a lot of questions, and the trailer has a lot of questions that actually kind of get answered with the poster, believe it or not. The writing is like Peter Pan and green, obviously representing the fact that Peter Pan wore green. I don't know whether this one will, because it is a very dark movie. And then Neverland is in kind of like a gold tight colour, kind of dark on the outside and then kind of blending in. And then Nightmare is kind of cut, like the writing is like slightly off, and that's big and red. So again, that will be for blood and the fact it's a horror movie as well. So there is a lot of things going on in the background, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm really, really looking forward to it because not that I don't love Blood and Honey. I just feel that it needs another character in there, and when you start bringing more out, because they're doing, what is it? They're doing Little Mermaid. There's also Bambi and Pinocchio. Well, not Bambi, I would say is dodgy. The only thing I could hope for with that, it's kind of like water stripped down, because that was violent as fuck, and still to this day traumatizes me that my parents thought that was acceptable at Christmas to put that on with its context. But it was the 80s and the 90s, and they didn't give a fuck, obviously. And then you've got Pinocchio, which is a dodgy story of a boy who randomly becomes human. Was he human? Was he an ill boy? Did he have a disability? Is that why he looked like a puppet or whatever they're trying to say, that he had to, who knows, be strung up like a puppet? Who the fuck knows? Cross that out. Who knows how Pinocchio came to be? Who knows why Geppetto decided to spend all his time with a wooden toy and pretend it was his son? Maybe Geppetto was mentally unstable. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he did wish and get a real boy. Maybe he abducted him. Maybe he made him into wood. Maybe he's a serial killer, Geppetto. Who the fuck knows? I'm sure we'll find out. And the same with The Little Mermaid. Like I keep saying, The Little Mermaid was never supposed to be like Ariel, this beautiful, simple, dumbass who basically wanted legs. Mermaids not supposed to be Ariel. They're not supposed to be these really beautiful maidens. They are from a distance, and they use their magic, basically their cunning as well, to lure others, crash their boats and steal their shit. So thieves of the sea, and then they continue to do this because they like shiny things. Again, Little Mermaid, they did talk about liking shiny things and all that, but they never showed you the real darkness of what mermaids actually are. They're sirens. That was their job, to punish those in the sea, punish them for being in their domain, and to take things that were worth money, things that they were worthy of them coming to steal, basically. So who knows how that will be taken, but I'm actually looking forward to Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. How about you? Do you love Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Are you excited for the new installments of the Poohniverse, the Vag1naVerse? Do you think they should change its fucking name, because it's so confusing for people from Scotland and probably anywhere else in the world that uses that term for a lady part? Do you think they should change the fucking name? Stop fucking confusing the hell out of us? Just me? Well, that was CBR's article from the 2nd of September 2024, and that was covering Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare with the trailer. I will put the link for the trailer in the description box below. If you haven't seen it, you can go on YouTube and watch it and tell me what you think. I am Lady Darcy Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Dark Side, hot off the press. If you like content like this, remember to go check out Confession from the Dark Side social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think over on our social media platforms, and let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread how awesome the horror community actually is. If you want to get to know us as individuals, then you can check us out on our links below. I am Lady Darcy Darkness, and my channel is Behind the Mash Reviews, and you can get me on YouTube, Instagram and Twitch. And the spelling is on screen. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's annoying. I picked it. I am not changing it. Get used to it. Lunar is Lunar X Rising, and he has a YouTube, a Twitch and an Instagram, and his platform name is Lunar X Rising. If you need to reach out to us at any point, you can catch us via email. It's confessionsfromthedarkside@gmail.com. Again, Darcy Darkness, Behind the Mash Reviews @gmail.com, and Lunar is Lunar X Rising @gmail.com. And that was me breaking down the CBR article about the trailer of the new Poohniverse installment, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And I am Lady Darcy Darkness, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.